Welcome to the Sorcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Ligia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we will embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sorcery Podcast. And today I'm so excited to talk about this topic because I am asked so many times about what it is, shadow work, and how to do it. And I love to talk about this because shadow work is the basis of the inner work that I do personally and that I walk my clients through, but it's also something that's so feared for so many of us. So I would like to dive into this topic right away. When we come into this world, we are born whole. So you can picture a baby, because obviously you don't remember when you were a baby, but if you had children yourself or you have family members and you witness a baby growing up, just picture this. They are pure. They are unconditioned. They are alive with possibility. Because in those early days, they don't question who they are, right? They don't look in the mirror and wonder if they are enough, because they simply are enough. They are loved. They are expression. They are a living, breathing embodiment of wholeness. They don't fear crying to get fed or to get a nappy change or to get attention, so to not upset their parents. Right? And you were the same. Once upon a time, you were also a baby. You were born pure, alive with possibility. And in those early days, you didn't question who you were. You didn't look in the mirror and wonder if you were enough or worthy, right? Or loved, because you were. You were loved. You were whole. But something begins to happen as we start growing up. And from our first breath, we are seen and we are shaped through the lenses of our caregivers, our parents, and also the world around us. And it's through their eyes that we start to form our sense of self, that we start to learn who we are, and maybe more tellingly, who we should be. And as we begin to absorb this as a deep lesson in our life, which is often unspoken, but is always there, we start to learn that there are aspects of ourselves that are welcome, that are acceptable, that are approved, but also there are other aspects of ourselves that are not. That there are some parts of who we are that are labeled as wrong, as dangerous, as not allowed, that are simply disapproved of. And so, this is when our journey with self-rejection begins, right? When we start hearing from our parents or caregivers, our teachers at school, the other kids at school, family members, watching on TV and learning from what we see on TV, that we are being too loud, that we are too curious, that children are meant to be seen, not heard, that they need to be still, that they can't be inquisitive. Maybe you were told that, right? That you are a crybaby, that you're too loud, too dramatic, too cheeky, that you were too talkative and you kept disturbing the class, right? And then you start to, as you grew up, seeing that as something that is not accepted. And so in order to feel loved and approved, you start rejecting those parts of yourself. And at first, you might feel very subtle, a moment of embarrassment, a glance of disapproval, a word that tells us to behave, to quieten, to fit in. But soon we start to self-reject. We start to disown the parts of ourselves that aren't met with love, that aren't met with approval or praise. And so we deny, we repress, we bury them deep, deep down, far from our conscious mind. We hide them. Isn't that true? Are you nodding right now? Because if you are, you're not alone. We all went through this. We all have parts of ourselves that we feel ashamed about, that we feel that are not appropriate. And Carl Jung, a Swiss psychologist and someone that I look up to so much, he was also a highly sensitive person. He was also a healer in a way. He used to interpret dreams for other people, and he did that for a long time in his career. And he was also a psychologist, so he also understands the mind. And he referred to these hidden parts as shadows, aspects of ourselves that we push deep into the unconscious, not allowing them to be seen by everyone, even ourselves. But hiding those parts of ourselves doesn't make it go away, right? These shadows don't disappear. They remain very much alive. They are just tucked away in our unconscious minds, quietly influencing the way that we think, the way that we behave, and we can't always see them or understand them. And that's why sometimes we're like, I don't know how I behave this way. I don't know why I feel this way. Because those parts are there, influencing it all. They are the parts that lead us to act in ways that we don't fully comprehend, that lead us to feel out of control sometimes, or that lead us to feel lost. And the reason why we resist doing shadow work or looking at these shadow aspects of ourselves is because it's uncomfortable. We don't want to face the pain, the rejection that we once did, right, as we were growing up. And that fear that lies in the dark of our being, we don't want to go there anymore. We don't want to go there. And we think that by keeping these shadows hidden, that we are protecting ourselves from more pain. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the more that we do that, the more we reject ourselves. And that rejection cuts deeper than any outside disapproval ever could. And here's where the misconceptions about shadow work start to arise, right? Many people believe that the shadow only contains the bad or the negative aspects of ourselves. Our anger, jealousy, our fear, shame. But this is only part of the picture. It's not the whole thing. Because there is another side to the shadow that is often referred to as golden shadow. And this is the aspects of ourselves where our greatest gifts, our strengths, and our talents live. But we also push them into the unconscious because somewhere along the line we learn that even our light can be too much, isn't it? We might have hidden away our creativity, our power, our ability to stand out, fearing that this would be met with rejection or disapproval. Maybe growing up, you being too talented, being too good at drawing, was seen with jealousy by some of your peers at school. Being too good at gymnastics or at sports, again, jealousy, too much, oh, she's showing off, or even shown as rude. And when we were met with that disapproval, with that rejection, we learned to hide those parts of ourselves as well, to not make others feel uncomfortable. So the shadow is not just the container for our perceived bad, right? It is also where we hide our brilliance, our gold. That's why it's called the golden shadow. But what happens when we keep these aspects of ourselves buried in our conscious mind? Because they don't go away. They simply stay there, hidden, quietly chasing you until you are willing to turn and face it. And there is no point hiding from it because it's a part of who you are. And yes, it can be painful to go there. It can be uncomfortable to sit with those parts of yourself that you have rejected, to meet your fears, your grief, your anger. But this is also the only way to truly heal. So shadow work, it's the process of bringing these hidden parts of yourself into the light. It's simply that. It's the conscious act of giving love and attention to the aspects of yourself that have been pushed away. It is not about making these parts disappear, because we know they won't. It is about integrating them. It's about embracing them so that you can live in wholeness and in true to who you are. So although it's called shadow work, it is actually a work of conscious enlightenment, okay? Because it's the path to embodying your true self. Because when you give yourself permission to see and accept and love all parts of yourself, you'll begin to reclaim your wholeness. So the shadows, both dark and golden, are opportunities for self-growth, for spiritual awakening, for soul expansion. They are not there to hurt you. They are there to guide you, to lead you back to yourself. Because in the end, the shadow is a part of you, is a part of your truth. And by embracing it, you will find your way back to your soul essence. You'll find the freedom, the light, the wholeness that you've been searching for. So my invitation to you today is to, instead of resisting your shadows, try and meet them with curiosity. Meet them with compassion. Take this journey not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to reclaim all that you are. Because you are whole. You remember the baby that you were once. You were born whole. You are still whole. You've always been whole. Before I love you and leave you, I'll pull a card from my Trust journaling deck. And the card that I pulled is from the Thrive suite. And the soul inquiry is, am I willing to see a better life for myself? Am I willing to see a better life for myself? And the affirmation is, I have all that I want and desire. Yes, you do. You have all that you need, want, and desire within you because you are whole. And when you embrace your shadow and you accept it and you integrate it, you are able to see a better life for yourself. So if you feel ready to take the first step into this sacred work, I have this Trust journaling deck that I created. It's a tool that I created to support you, and is designed to guide you gently as you begin exploring the shadows within. This is a tool for shadow work because you will find soul inquiries and reflections to help you connect with the parts of yourself that have been hidden and to meet them with the love and the light they deserve. I will leave the link in the show notes. Otherwise, you can go to my website, www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Thank you so much for listening. And remember that your shadow is not your enemy. It is your guide and is leading you back home to yourself. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Sorcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.